Don't
Oh,
go anywhere. I have it here.
okay. I'm gonna go live. Oh, wait, you're live. We're
Sorry, that was the wrong one.
yeah,
So, what is it doing? Okay, we're live.
we're live. Yeah. Okay, guys.
I was produced. I'm blame me. I'm the
Okay.
producer of the show today.
Okay. All
Usually it's
right.
Kathy, but there's so many change in the in the configuration of the program that I miss. I cannot find my intro and outro.
Okay. Do you want me
Uh
to do
huh.
the intro, or do you want to forget the
No,
intro?
we're
We're
talking
in.
to the people,
Yeah.
dear audience.
Yes.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for listening. Kathy is our mastermind. Roman is our God
Come on,
of
sorry.
all dog
Beep.
knowledge. Is humble on top of that. So the question of the day. Let's go back to the topic and say today our topic is joy in life is the joy in life is to be happy. But
Let's be happy.
who want to be sad? Raise your hand, please. No one. Okay. Very good.
Good morning,
Good
Dale.
morning. Good morning, Dale. I'm Our dog can put us at ease, comfortable, and calm. Is such a thing is possible? Is a dog can help us to be at ease when he's there, comfortable and calm. Is a dog as a calming factor on a human being, Mr. Roman?
Yes.
That's reassuring. Ow.
Oh, you want the long version of it? Okay. So,
Break it down
okay, a little version.
and take your
So,
breath and
our
breathe.
comfort with dogs,
Between each sentence, breathe. Okay, so
our
we
comfort
can
with
listen
dog
to you.
started 100,000 years ago at least, when we finally had someone in our area that barks if a danger comes up. So we can actually hang back and says, "Wow, I feel better now." The first incident where
Hmm.
the dog barked for the person's safety is the first feeling of safety. And it makes you feel better, makes you feel happy.
Right.
Suddenly, you're protected, right? And it continued this evolution of our friendship for the next 100,000 years. Now, science can prove 50,000 years is because there was so much destruction in the meantime, cataclysms, destruction of huge communities and societies that is just gone. We cannot find any evidence anymore. But we have so much history in place. And proof is that dogs are still around and they are best friends. So, why are the best friends? How do we feel about best friends? What do we do if you have a problem? We call our best friend, right? If we feel a shoulder to cry on, we lean our best friend, right? So why do we call them our dog's best friend? It's because they make us feel better, makes us feel happy. No, science is pretty advanced and tells us already a lot of things that dogs teach us mindfulness. The dogs relieve us stress. So mindfulness is being aware of me being here and having a partner next to me, and I feel this moment of now. So I'm mindful about what I do, where I step on, right? How to get the hair off my clothes is a mindful gestures, right? And so that helps you a lot staying in the present moment. And you're not thinking about bad things because you have somebody looking at you. It's like, hmm, pet here, right? Or I want what you're chewing on right now, and I want your potato chips, and I want your drink, and I want your lap, and I want your shirt, and I want to chew on your pillows. That keeps you always in mind. Now, then we have dogs that relieve stress. And it's actually a paper that says basically the evidence providing the physical benefits of living with a canine companion has been well documented and varies from improved cardiovascular health where the happiness sits, right? And increased physical activity, okay? Lifting up poop bags, bending over to put the leashes, right?
Hmm.
Cleaning the blankets of the dog hair that gives you physical activity to lower cholesterol and decrease blood pressure. Okay, your blood pressure goes a little bit up if you see potties and poops in the house. It's because you didn't do physical work on taking a dog out in time. So it puts you also in a structure, which is a lot of stress relief. If you have your structure going in, you don't need to worry about things. Things go very smoothly. And then we have the dogs leads us to nature. I just came back. It's like 20 degrees outside. I'm freezing cold. I didn't feel the cold. I was busy with my dog doing stuff. And we did a little bit of a running game and a little bit this, a little bit that, and everybody gets activated. On the time I went back, I checked in my phone. I did like 3 miles. Like, really? Wow, that was a lot. Tell me to go 3 miles. I was like, kidding me? I'm not doing that. But yet for the dog, I did it. Then the other thing that I noticed, go ahead.
You
What?
said you did 3 mile without realizing you did 3 mile, and you
Hmm.
said I did that with the dog.
Hmm.
The dynamic there is because you're with the dog, your attention is not on how many mile I did, how many minutes I'm running. Is basically on what you're doing, your interaction with the dog. Is
Right.
that the factor which make going out and exercise more? Is because there's a reason that you cannot avoid to get out and go there.
Well, getting oxygen makes us feel good, and walking makes us feel better. Even having rheumatitis, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving advice here, right? I'm just saying
Yeah,
in my personal experience, um, moving makes things better, and walking on your feet makes you feel better. Actually, I'm preparing a mindful walking, dog walking meditation, where actually you become aware of your environment, how it smells, how it looks, what information you get from nature, which means you become one with nature. You
Hmm.
cannot just walk a leash
We
on
are
the street,
nature. We are nature inside.
right? Right.
We're mini microbiomes.
Exactly. And if you
Yeah.
don't believe that we are nature, see the hole that food goes in and see the other hole that food comes out. You're going to see how close to nature we are.
I have to see that.
No, you don't,
No,
but you just picture it a little
Kodak moment. Yeah. Very visual.
what a
Thank you.
picture!
Yeah.
bit.
I'm not an acrobat. I cannot see that, Roman. Sorry.
Well, if you clean up your dog's poop, you're going to see it right away. You're going to
Okay,
Yeah.
see your
that's for
dollars
yeah. I will
being
be a witness of
processed.
something else, somebody else.
Exactly,
Yes.
right.
Okay.
Um, and one thing that I also talk about that meditation is to feel that empathy where you, on your walk, start feeling your dog going through that process, walking. And because dogs are, I know there's a misconception out there that dogs are pack animals. We put that pack stamp on it and put ourselves out of it. But the reality is the dog are social animals. They're not only just with their pack, they can become friends with other groups of dogs and have friendships beyond their group of dogs.
With
Okay,
other species.
with other communities, like dog
Yeah.
communities. And I've talked with a um, dog scientist, dog researcher down um, in Far East, where he actually discussed that he noticed that a dog went to another group of dogs and hired, kind of like bribed another group of dogs to come and help them defend their territory against other dogs who were outside of that territory. And I was like, dog to hire kind of situation? And it's like, yeah, I have no clue. Nobody has an answer to that, but we observed it twice. And so we see the dogs team up with people to have benefits, feeling safe,
Hmm.
getting their primary needs met. And that comes in if we have that sense of empathy. But we feel my dog needs to go to the bathroom. My dog feels he needs to go for a walk. I don't expect my dog to bark. So all these things come together, being mindful about your dog's emotional state, um, mindful that your dog gets stressed. And when your dog gets stressed, you feel stressed. And the only way to fix it is to get out and have fun with it, right?
Yeah, but
Um,
just to stay on the topic of empathy, how
mhm.
many example of dog going out or going to find help when there was a situation, an emergency, a medical emergency, an accident, or a fire, going out, getting help to help humans. And
Wow,
that's
that's
what,
actually a good point. I'm gonna message this guy. I'm gonna friend guy. His name is Marco Ada. So he's researching those free roaming dogs, and I'm gonna tell him exactly that because I remember now as you tell me how a dog ran out of the house, ran down the street, getting the fire department in the right street.
Hmm.
Nobody trained that dog. Or the other guy who was running his house and his dog ran down the street and brought the police officer to the right house.
There's a lot of miracles that we see all the time that dogs are doing where they're helping a human,
Hmm.
and we always wonder how do they know where to go? And so I think what they do is like instinctively just want to attract the attention of anybody. At least
Well,
that's my opinion.
there
well,
is a book um, from Shelt Drake,
Okay.
of course. Da.
okay, that's better.
Okay. Okay. Dogs that
It's
know
a
their owner.
scientific based book.
Hmm.
So Sam Gregg is a scientist, so he's studying different things. He came up with um, morphogenetic field theory, very mind breaking and breakthrough science um, approach, and he actually did the research together with the BBC and captured on video with two cameras, Gaetan, two cameras in real time,
Big budget.
timer on, and video record both sides without having communication with each other. So at some point, the one person who was with the person told him, "Now you're getting ready, now we're going home," without saying to anybody else. And
Hmm.
the dog on the other side of the town got up and walked to the door at the same time.
Hmm.
And it was not the time for him to go home. The dog knew that his home comes home. So BBC has a video of that. I found it a couple of times, but I kind of lost it again. So if somebody of you find that video, post it in the comments so we can look at it. It's very interesting. Um, the other thing that we see is dogs feel that empathy if we are stressed. They kind of nudge us to get out and go publicly. So people who have depression, for example, the dogs help them to go out, get social in the dog park, meeting people. So both are being helped, people and dogs.
You know, I have to comment on this dog show empathy. If you think about it, if a dog is going to go and help someone that is in stress, they don't wonder, "Gee, is it gonna cost me to do anything?" They don't wonder, "Gee, is there gonna be a problem?" Whereas if a human looks at a dog that's in need, the first thing they think of is, "Oh, I don't wanna get
Let
involved."
me video record it how he
Yeah, I'll
dies.
video record it or I'll take a picture and I'll put it on social media so that everybody can see it, but they're not gonna do anything. So actually, the dog really does it unconditionally when it comes to the empathy side. They really care about their owner or the person in need, and they will take action immediately, which is go and get help.
Hmm.
Go and get help. How
Exactly.
much simpler can it be?
Like go
Uh,
and get help is like us asking you share that video
yeah.
or like that video and share that video. Go and get help. Bring more people to this concept of we're seeing dogs the way they are, not the way we have them in mind.
There's also cases of dog who will go beyond the ownership relationship and will rescue other human which are in difficult situation. And I came across a case which was a Newfoundland dog, a Newfoundlander. I don't know the exact name, but the big dog, the Newfoundlander. And somebody was in distress in the water, not an owner, not anybody that
It
can
was
jump in.
Napoleon. It was Napoleon
Yeah, he did that
Bonaparte.
for Napoleon, but there was other
No,
cases.
really.
It's a true story,
Yeah, it
by
is.
Really?
the way.
It's a historical
Napoleon
evidence.
fell off the boat, and a Newfoundlander jumped in the water and rescued Napoleon. He was
Hmm.
on his way to the little island of Saint Helens, where he was supposed to be confined for the balance of his life.
Oh, I thought
But
you were joking.
no, no,
Okay, so
it's
this
a
is for
true
real.
story. It's documented. It's historical. But I'm referring to modern time, modern moment where some dog rescue on not owner people like a stranger in a dear and dangerous situation. So I was sharing that with you. And that's what I did. Thank you for your attention. Carry
Okay.
on, Roman.
Well, Newfoundlanders, people think Newfoundlanders are just mountain. They are retrieve dogs that were
Yeah.
used in Newfoundland to bring the nets close to the boat. So I can see the mindset about that. But empathy is a very interesting part because feeling how the other party feels is very important, especially for a predator. The predator needs to find the weakest animal to go on and not the strongest one. A dog needs to find out who is a threat to the house and who is not. So he needs to feel it.
Hmm.
Predator prey feelings. Are you harm me? Are you going to harm me? What's your intention?
Hmm.
And science focuses very much on body language, but there is a language behind that body language, which is an emotional language. Feeling each other, feeling empathy for those people in Russia right now who are in turmoil,
Yeah.
right? So
No, well,
how many of, I
in
mean, I
Ukraine.
could feel it. I had really, I didn't know about that. Let's start it. But I didn't sleep well in the morning. I woke up my wife and says, I had this weird dream about, shooting stuff. It's like, yeah, the Russian just invaded. And I was like, wait, what? Where? Yeah. So empathy is something we can entrain, we can remember. It's not something you learn in school. It's something you are born with, and you can start remembering it. And dogs are here to help you remember that part.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah. And now what about oops, sorry, that wasn't it. Dogs that bring comfort. Or dogs bringing comfort to us on a on an emotional level, and if we're down and out, they are there for us.
Well, let's picture people returning from war. Speaking of war, and the only thing they have in their family left is the dog. And the dog doesn't care if you're drunk, if you're messed up, how you feel. He's there for you. He's there for you because he sees you not feeling well, and then he's part being with you. So I see my Chihuahua when I go home and I'm really tired. The first thing I lay down, I have a Chihuahua snouts in my face. It's like, "Are
Yeah.
you okay?" Like, "Yeah." "Can you get off my chest right now?" She's like, "No." "Pat me first, and then I'll do it." And in that moment, we see that dog comes into your energetic field. Okay. Now I know some people says I'm weird anyway because I'm holistic and obviously I must be driving a Prius or something like that. That's not the case. I'm having a big truck actually. Um, dogs come into
Polluter.
dogs come into an energetic field and there is an energetic resonance. So our heartbeat, the way it works, it synchronizes with the dog's heartbeat. It's not like dog's heartbeat goes the same speed. It just synchronizes. So we're going through the same wavelength, which at some point the calmer one is calling the more excited one to calmness. So this goes both ways. So if my dog is stressed, I need to hold space for my dog. If I'm stressed, my dog is holding space for me. And that's what we're saying about conscious living with your animal is to be there and start take this deep breath. And if you take that deep breath, you're likely going to see your dog changing his behavior because there is a thought, there's an emotion, there's a behavior. If a dog's emotion changes, you will see it in a behavior. So you all we have to do is sit in your couch and do this. And see
Good.
what your dog does.
Yeah, good point. Can,
I know
can
you're
I
gonna
can,
go to get treats, right?
Uh,
no, I wanted to bring up something on this. My Charlie, because I have COPD, it's almost like he's stalking me, Roman. What happens is I move, he moves. I move into a different room. He has to see me every single minute of every single day. And he panics if I'm out of his sight for a second. He has to be touching me in some way at all times. It seems like if I'm sitting on
Yes,
a couch, he has to
it
be right
seems like
next to me.
it
Uh,
seems to me it's more kind of like separation anxiety that
Really?
can come in from empathy, but also can be conditioned. Meaning is the dog is conditioned that he needs to be with you all the time because that's what you want, and then you move away, and it's like, whoa, 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 where are you going?
Well, however, if I go out or anything, I don't say goodbye or anything, and he's fine. It's not like he gets all upset or anything like that.
He
It's he's
just knows
happy.
the job is over because you're gone until you're back, and then the job is
Oh,
done.
okay.
Sorry, I
Well,
ruined
you
your.
know, okay,
uh,
so then wishful thinking on this because
You're good.
here's
That's
what I
fine.
want to think. I
That's a
think
good
that
point.
okay. I
the,
think that when he got into when he realized that I had COPD and I wasn't wearing my oxygen, and in the middle of the night when I stopped breathing, comes on my chest, he wakes me up. He lets me know that's automatic.
Right.
I don't tell him to do that or whatever. I think he just now is there because he it seems like he's on watch.
Yeah, that's his job.
He's on watch all the time. That's his job. Yeah. So that's how I view it.
Mhm.
self-appointed.
Yeah, I
He
would
was
say
not
job is the
told. He
wrong
was
word
not
about it.
trained. He did that spontaneously.
Yes, he did. Right. Yeah.
Good
Job is the
dog.
wrong job is the wrong expression of my part. I would say it's more dedication. So the dog is dedicating himself to into that relationship and to do something that he believes is the best thing for that relationship.
Yeah. Dale says when I was doing chemo, I laid in bed all day after a treatment, and Hero, his dog, was right beside me the whole time. Yeah, they will do that. That's an interesting thing. Why do they do that? Do they feel that they're offering comfort, getting back to the dogs bring comfort? Is that
Um,
what are they doing when they feel is are they protecting
I
or
would say
all
let's
the
think
above?
like a dog for a moment.
Okay.
Let's put the word why away
All
and
right.
just enjoy it.
Okay.
Our show today is about enjoying your dog, and
Yes, you're right.
you'll
Yeah, yeah.
enjoy, right? And always asking the why, the why. The dog doesn't have to ask you, why do you love me? He just sends you, I appreciate you loving me, period. I appreciate you being here and waking up when I'm punching you because you stop breathing,
Yeah.
right? So I think dogs will help us think more appreciating the moment than going back and forth in the past and the future and basically bouncing off the center point.
Good point. Excellent
However,
point.
answering the question, there is a mechanic here which
Before you
comes
answer the question, may I? I hope human are listening and they are taking the lesson here. Please carry on with your answer, please, sir.
in. Yes, sir. Why am I coughing? Right? No, I got this. I have to take some dog treats. um, it seems there is a relationship factor that comes in, secure attachment relationship, and so through that relationship, we feel obligated in order to keep that relationship going, to feel that responsibility of conformity and compliance. And so what dogs do, they're very detail oriented. They really observe a standard and they want to keep that standard because keeping that standard is what keeps them safe. So it's a self-preservation system that tells them continue to do that. That secures that secure attachment relationship because if you change it, you're going to lose the relationship, which means at the end you're going to suffer because losing the relationship, losing that system puts you in exposure to the threat. And because dogs know they are not the best hunters, they hunt better in groups, that life is at risk without actually being in this fear. It is kind of healthy level of anxiety that if you're not compliant to your promise, you're going to have the consequences of it. So that comes in a healthy part, not in an extreme part. For them living that anxious to be compliant, for us to fulfill the relationship, we need to do that too. In a perfect world, we wouldn't have that kind of anxiety because everything would be safe, but it's not. Especially since we took dogs in a human environment, which is not natural to dogs. Natural to dogs is being able to make choices and be free, going places, and we basically confine them in a crate in a 100 square foot room, basically.
Well, when we talk about hope and happiness and joy today, one of the things is dogs provide us with a sense of purpose. And that's one of the reasons why older people appreciate a dog more because for some reason, all of a sudden, overnight, they either lose their spouse or they're alone, and their dog becomes so important to them. They're not working anymore, they're at home 24/7, and that dog brings life back to them. They have a purpose. They have to take the dog out for a walk. They've got to do things with them. So, what's your opinion on that, Roman?
I feel the sense of purpose goes both ways. The dog needs a purpose to be in the family, for them to have a place in the family. Otherwise, he's not part of the family because there is no purpose. And the other way is us feeling the purpose because we feel that responsibility. So it's kind of like a parent child relationship where everybody has a purpose. The dog has a need and we are providing that need to be covered, and the dog sees that having needs and they try to cover it. So it's kind of like a good synergistic relationship. Good dish, I would say. It could be better. We're working on that. That's why we're having these conversations on all these subjects that are kind of boring. But you know what, sometimes boring stuff with a lot of information in there, it's sometimes difficult to capture. So I appreciate that question.
Okay, now the next thing that I think is important, and I have to comment on it personally, is that dogs promote socialization. I I've heard so many times from guys that they bring their dog to the park and it's like a chick magnet. You know? Really, seriously. They tell all their friends, "Get a dog, get a dog, go to the dog park," because there the women are, "Oh, how cute is that?" So it socializes people as well as socializes with other dogs. Perfect, perfect place. Yes, Gaetan.
I'm a socially impaired person.
Get a
I have
dog.
I have no
Get
social
a dog,
skill.
yeah.
I don't have any social skill. But what I discovered recently is when somebody walk with a dog, and in my neighborhood, almost everybody has a dog here, and I address the dog, say, "Hi, how are you doing, doggy? You're doing fine." And "Hi, sir. Hi, lady. How are you
Yeah,
doing? Nice dog." Otherwise, I would never talk to a stranger. I will never go out and say something to somebody unless I'm requested to speak. So
right.
I'm a socially impaired person. But when there's a dog, that's a pretext for me to connect and communicate. And I will address the dog first sometime, or address the human first and look at the dog and say, "Hi, dog, how you doing? Nice dog. Bye. Have a nice day." But that's interesting for me because I never socialize with anybody.
Well,
You know me, Katie.
in the previous in our previous show, you asked what kind of dog you should get. I have the
Right.
answer now.
Yes.
You need a big dog, a mastiff dog, over 100 pounds. Do not train the dog. Do not leash train the dog. Let him pull you wherever he wants to go. So whether you like it or not, you're going to
And
end up
let
in
him pee
prison
and poop in the house wherever he
together
wants.
with others.
No.
I want to comment on
Poop in the
this.
house.
I want to
No.
I want to comment about the seeing the dog for the first time. I bet you don't even notice the neighbors. And if you go over to somebody's house, that dog comes up and greets you. I'm one of the first ones that wants to spend time with the dog, not with the people.
Yeah.
The same thing holds true. You see them in the park. How many people really notice the people? They notice the dogs.
Right.
I know the people's. I don't know the people's names, but I remember the dog's name.
Yeah, there was a beautiful Doberman right there.
Yeah,
Brown. Oh, I love it.
yeah.
Unfortunately, he has his ear trim and then tail cut and
Oh, oh,
but
you don't want to say that.
yeah.
Okay, Roman.
It must be maybe the angle of our head when we bend down. Like we're very serious, and then as we bend down, right? So if we go face
Oh,
to
it's
face,
pull
we're
the
like, yeah,
muscle.
whatever, right? And if
Ah,
we bend down,
okay.
everything stretches
Yeah,
backwards.
yeah.
That must be the place,
Oh gosh.
I like your explanation, the physiologic expression. You
right?
lean forward and you
Right, right.
smile,
Yeah,
you raise
that's
your
It's like
head,
right.
you're praying to your dog.
and you see
Yeah.
people around you say, "Oh gosh, human."
Yeah.
Well, let's face it, you go to somebody's house and the first one that greets you is the dog. And the dog is the tail's wagging and you come it's a good environment. It's a good experience to walk into somebody's house and have this friendly furry being that is welcoming you. So it sets the tone.
If
It
you
really does.
train the dog
They're
well.
like, what? Yeah. Oh, that's true. But let's talk about socializing. They help create the friendly atmosphere within the home too. It becomes comfortable when you walk into someone's home. And I love it if I'm in someone's home and their dog jumps on my lap. I'm a happy camper with that. And
Oh,
even
let me introduce you to a Great Dane I'm working with right now.
I like Great Danes too. They feel that they're lap dogs.
Yeah,
Exactly.
sure.
And you like,
They put
so
their paw on your shoulder and you lick your face and you look
you're a
at you.
little piece of
Hey,
a lab that he's sitting on.
Okay, so now let's talk about how dogs can also decrease loneliness and depression.
Well,
big
how many
silence.
people tell you if you feel depressed, do things, get out, keep moving, laugh about things? And you have this weird boxer making these gorgeous spins, or your greyhound laying upside down on the couch like he's kind of like a couch potato or something like that. Or you have a mastiff snoring all day long and you're like, Jesus, you get sidetracked of things thinking in the wrong direction. I had an online client, for short, it was just literally just a phone call, in Florida, who his dog was biting him. And for some reason, I had this guts feeling to ask him a couple of more deeper questions. And we end up talking about him not taking his medication while he is manic depressive. So we measured how long does it take for the dog to actually start biting him, and we found a pattern. If it was longer than 4 hours on the computer, the dog would start biting him. And that was also how he felt more and more depressed because of sitting in front of the screen all day long. And he called me, he wanted to surrender the dog and put the dog to sleep, and he needed a way out. And he ended up keeping the dog as his personal medical alert dog. So from putting the dog down, switched the dog into a medical alert dog in less than 20 minutes phone call. So that person got back on his medication, and that person still has his dog, right? And so we have to see these things, that depression is an illness, if I say it right.
Mhm.
And yes, sometimes medication is going on, but there's always a reason to that. So we're not here to answer the reason why people are depressed. We just see that a dog is a perfect supplement. So you would get this pill every day that writes dog on it, and you take 2 doses of them every day, at least, or more. The more you take, the better it
There,
is.
there
It's
you
the only
go.
medication without side effects. Dog.
Alive.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
And of course, loneliness. It decreases loneliness as a simple fact. Like, you don't need the science paper for that. Loneliness, you need to be alone. Having a dog, you're already two. I
right,
rest my case.
right. Yeah. And I think what we have always been trying to say through all of these shows is you can have a dog in your house, but if you don't realize that they're there, you're not aware that they're there, and they go into another room, you forget about them altogether, then what's the sense of having a dog unless you're connected? When you're connected, then you are not alone. You do have a being there that does care about you and that does love you. And there are some things, and I want to replay this, there are some things that we have to realize that we got to pay attention to what our dogs are telling us, because if we don't pay attention, we end up not honoring them. So I don't know if you remember Hank, but he's going to talk to us again.
So, what's everybody making a huge fuss about? So, I pooped on the rug. What, you think I did it deliberately? No. I tried to tell you that I needed to go out, but no, you just sat on the couch. I went to the door. I kept pushing you. I kept barking, but you didn't hear me. So I had no other choice. I couldn't hold it. I tried to hold it, but I couldn't. So the best thing I could do is just go around in a circle until you could see me, but boom, there it was. The poop came out. I couldn't help it. You got to pay a little bit more attention to me when I make all these gestures and I let you know. And what?
Whoops.
Oops,
Whoop.
sorry, it's me.
That was
Sorry.
you. Okay, that's okay. Well, anyway, that was Hank. That was Hank. He was he trying to let everybody know. Please pay attention to me. Please care.
Okay, sorry, I have something going on here.
Okay.
Oh,
Somebody wants to be social.
Yeah. Oh,
So, but we have to say a few things also. Just because dogs do this all these amazing things to us, we cannot just buy a dog and gift it to someone and push that idea onto someone.
uh-huh.
So, even if these elder people, even if that's a young person, even that's your first love of your life, even if that is your first marriage, or your wife just expecting a kid, or you becoming a father, nobody should push you a dog on and force you into this kind of a situation.
Uh-huh.
It can cause actually the opposites, stress, and sometimes people just choose the wrong dog. Oh, I
Right.
want my grandmother to be safe, so I get her a Malinois dog, or I give her a kind of a Cane Corso, or giving a Mastiff or a German Shepherd. And this old lady, you see her like with her stroller, running through the neighborhood on the leash, right? That's not a good thing, and it it costs a lot of money to have a dog. So don't do these things to people who have actually spent a lot of money on that. A dog in your care can cost you $1,000 in a year just off the bat without having any serious issues.
Right.
Dog food, veterinary care, follow ups, grooming, bathing, gears. I would spend like hundreds of dollars every time I get in a pet shop. My wife said, "No, you're not going to the pet shop today, right? You just go shopping." Like, yeah, the pet shop. And we need to be very aware of those things. Don't make those jokes and don't give gifts like that. You don't gift living things to other people. It's not good.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Now, the show was about can dogs bring us joy, and when they're when we're in an agitated mood, or if they're in an agitated mood. I wanted to ask you, m- uh, let me put me on there. When Charlie at 15, I think he's starting to lose his hearing because he doesn't respond as quickly and he doesn't see as well. But there seems to be a behavior that is happening where he's just more loving than he had ever been before. Is this something that happens when they get older, or is it just that he's happier now, or what? I don't understand with him. He always wants to be in my lap. He always wants to be with me now, and he wasn't that way before. I started to allude to it further
Mhm.
earlier, and you said that's like separation anxiety. He can be with other people. He can stay at their house. He can do all that. He's fine with it. But right now, is he sensing something in me, or is it something in him, or is he just closer to me now than he's ever been?
There are many reasons what can cause that behavior. I don't look only at the behavior, I look at the context also, and the location and your feedback. Um, if the dog jumps on you, you have an option to like it or not. So if you tell your dog, I don't like it, and you're not encouraging it or enforcing it, like putting your hands, oh, you're so sweet jumping on me, but I don't like it, which is the wrong thing to do, then get up and walk away. And the dog is like, oh, okay. But if I invite you to come up, then you can come up if you want that. So give your dog also an understanding that your body on your terms, and sometimes you want it and sometimes you don't. And just because you are available doesn't mean he can do it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, on the other side, dogs may have needs themselves. They feel stressed and they feel comfort. And some people have these abilities to be healers as a fact, and just being in your presence makes him feel good. Then I'm not saying you stop healing your dog, but see if that's the case. If you feel drained after your dog's being on your lap, then likely that's the case. If you feel better when your dog is on your lap, then it's the other way around. If you feel annoyed for your dog doing that, then please let your dog know that you don't like it. And all you do is you just get up and off and don't touch your dog. Now, I have my rule on my house, and I say you cannot jump on me unless I invite you. You can show me intentions that you want to jump on, which means sit in front of me and pay attention to me so I know you want something. Okay, unless you stand at the door, which means you want to go out. If you stand a minute, look for me, you want something from me, and since I don't have any treats in my hands, obviously you want to come up. I invite her, and then she's on me, or next to me, or with me, or under me, whatever she likes to do. So I give her that access. So I would say we should put those kind of healthy relationship boundaries and says, I have time, I don't have time. I'm
Hmm.
on my phone, I need to go to the bathroom. I don't need you to check in on me in my bathroom. I will be just alive by the time I get out.
Okay.
Likely.
Okay. Now, Roman, you had at the beginning, you had wanted us to share this about how dogs drive emotional well-being. So I put a link in the comments, folks, so that you can go to it. Is there something in particular you wanted to cite about this
No,
particular
I would just
article?
want people to recognize that we're not doing chitty chat here. So we have background information and we're backing up what we're saying. And this is a very good
Hmm.
article with all those links.
Yeah.
Of course, we put our education, our information on top of that. So see that as a complete reference point. So you can go in and see some research is actually done. And if somebody says, "Ah, you don't need a dog," and it's thing. And one thing I want to say, we have to be very careful how we express things. Now, I know some people want to have a dog because they're beyond a certain age and to get married or something or to have a boyfriend or to do something in their lives. I'm, thank God, not in that age yet, but I know people who made that decision. Says, I want to get a dog, and basically were denied by many
Right.
rescues
Yeah. Yeah.
because they were too old.
Hmm.
I understand the concept, and please, you need to understand also the rescue, because if really something happened to you and you get a dog who's actually not the easy adoptable dog, then that dog end up in a shelter, and since that dog has nothing met before other than you, then that dog will be struggling. So if we go beyond a certain age, we should have a contingency plan, and I have one. And I'm not as old yet, but it can happen to me at any time. I'm traveling a lot. I can be killed by another dog with his level of aggression I'm working with. And what happens to my dogs, right? And so we have to have a contingency plan and have legal statements in place so those dogs not end up in a shelter.
Hmm.
Like I know we rely on our relatives, but the relatives are not obligated to take our dogs.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I talked to some colleagues of mine and says, "Hey, this is the situation. We're gonna exchange things. If something happens to you, I'll get your dog. I'll take care of them. If something happens to me before you, then you get my dogs." So we have the kind of an agreement, but that's us.
Right.
Everybody should have one.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Now, speaking of your community with those lady group that you have,
the Golden Girls community. Yeah.
exactly, you said it very right. Those are part of contingency plans.
Right.
Dogs,
Oh,
if
yes.
you
Yes.
live in that community and you need to move on for some reason on yourself or because of other conditions, then your dog's being taken care of.
Right. Right. So to close the show, what is it you just said that we're not? We're not an eeny weeny. What did you say?
I don't know what I said.
Uh,
We're not a chitty chat.
chitty chat, eeny weeny, whatever. I'm glad to know we're not that kind of show.
Hmm.
Okay. So, any last thoughts, you guys?
Yeah, how do you guys feel that you watch the show? Are you feeling a little bit better now? Did you up your mood a little bit?
Yeah.
How do
You
you
should
feel
let
about
us
that?
know. You should
I
let
know
us
people
know.
watch and not commenting, but we are a social group. We would love some feedback. And I know many of you kind of email us and send us messages in private. Oh my God, I love your show. And like, yeah, you can share it. I know you try to hoarding us in our own like little chitty chat, witty voodoo thing, but let it out, share it, make a comment, invite people to the show so they know about it. You can actually share the link. You just copy paste it in a messenger,
Hmm.
and we're gonna meet next week again at the same time, talking chitty chatty, whatever, Winnie Woody things.
Don't forget to subscribe and share the link with your friends.
So you don't need to worry about things. It just comes in your
Right.
mail.
Exactly.
Comment.
Exactly.
Under comment, you can have the link and click on that, share that with your friend, and then you'll be part of the family.
Okay. Great show, you guys. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next
Thanks
week.
for watching.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye.